My name is Marian. I'm a banker and I am yummy mommy to a 9-month-old baby girl. There are quite a number of things I enjoyed about being pregnant. The first thing was the food. It seemed as though everything was extra heightened. If you really liked it, it tasted really, really good. So I ate a lot without being judged or worrying too much about my body. And I loved the attention that comes with being pregnant. Everyone wants to pamper you, everyone wants to know if you are okay, if you are all right. And the third thing I really, really, really liked was the massages. I got lots and lots of massages from my husband. Even if I said my neck was hurting, automatically he would say massage time. The hardest thing about being pregnant, I think for me, were the changes, accepting the changes that came with my body, being pregnant. The thing was, I'd be honest and say I was very, very vain. I'm one of the people that I would walk, and if there was a reflection of me, I would stop and say, hi, hey beautiful, reaffirm, my beauty to my own self. But then being pregnant, obviously so many things change, your body. I got acne, I got back knee, my skin got darker, and there was nothing I could do to change it. I grew bigger, obviously, and then the stretch marks that obviously come with being pregnant and expanding. I did everything I could to avoid getting stretch marks, but in the last month, God was like, nope, you're getting it. And I didn't even get the faint ones. I actually got the black, thick ones that come all over your stomach. So it was just accepting my body as it was changing and accommodating the baby. That was the hardest bit of being pregnant. It was actually quite funny. So I was scheduled for a C-section 38 weeks. But the day I delivered, I don't know, I had a burst of energy. My mom came to visit with my uncle. I cooked. I did everything. Everything was very extra that day. Funny enough, I made jollof, I made goat's meat stew, I made light soup. And then in the evening, I don't know what happened. I told my husband, I want to eat ice cream. For some reason, I just wanted to eat ice cream. So he came back from work, took me to get the ice cream. This was around 10. So we went to Pinocchio's, got the ice cream. When we came home, midway through licking my ice cream, I felt like a gush of water come from beneath me. So I looked down, and every pregnant woman knows that in the last trimester, even when you giggle, you tinkle. So I told my husband, I think my water just broke, but I'm not sure. And he's like, how can you not be sure? You should be reading these things. And I was like, I'm not sure. Maybe I peed on myself, but this time the pee was extraordinary. And he was like, no, maybe your water broke. So we spent an hour arguing back and forth as to whether it was my water or wasn't my water. So we called my best friend and she was like, did your mucus plug fall out? Which is what usually is the biggest sign that the baby is coming. And I was like, no. She told me, go sit on the loo and try and see if it's gonna come out. I sat on it and lo and behold, pop, it came out. So then obviously we're panicking and all of those things. And I hadn't packed, I wasn't ready. Girl guide, I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. So we took whatever it was and we went to the hospital. We got there around 12 o'clock. And then by 3, I was in active labor, but due to medical reasons, I wasn't supposed to go into active labor. So they decided immediately that I had to have the C-section because they couldn't have me progressing any further into the labor. So yeah, I was cooking and eating ice cream.
Nice. That is loyal and trusting.
Thank you. So I was not prepared for labor because from my 5th month in pregnancy, the doctor had already said we're going to have a C-section. I was prepared for the C-section. I'd read on the C-section, Googled, YouTubed, every single thing that had to be done in the C-section environment. But I hadn't prepared for going into labor. So having the emergency labor or labor sprung on me, I wasn't ready. I didn't have breathing exercises ready, nothing. My husband was also not prepared because as I said, we're already reading on having a C-section and all of these other things. So it was tough. The way the pain springs up on you, and for a first timer, they usually say it takes hours before you get into active labor. But I got to the hospital at 12. By 3, I was already 4 centimeters dilated and I was entering active labor. So I was screaming, shouting. It was excruciating. After going through labor, I called my mom and I was like, you're a superstar, because it was very, very, very painful. I don't know how people can move from the 4 to 10 centimeters, but it was very painful, even at getting to 4. Yeah. So when I saw her the first time, I wasn't filled with the joy and the love that a lot of people experience when they first see the baby. I think I was too tired from going through the process of labor and then having to lie down to be cut and all of these things. So I was a bit more like, okay, she came out okay. So I checked her fingers. You know, in Ghana, when you have the baby, they bring the baby to you, open her legs for you to identify the sex. Okay, what do you see? Girl or boy? So I said girl. And I was like, does she have all her fingers? Is she okay? He said yes. And then I prayed in my mind, but I didn't feel that sudden rush of emotion and love that most moms feel or that I read about. I didn't have that. I just felt relief, and also relief that I won't be feeling as heavy as I felt like a few hours before. But yeah, mainly it was relief, but not the initial love that most moms speak of, unfortunately. There's been a lot of adjustments. I think no one ever prepares you for the changes that you have to make. Even in terms of sleeping, going out, having time to yourself, you don't have that a lot. So I'm a stomach sleeper, but ever since we had the baby, she prefers to sleep with us, or unfortunately, I made her get used to sleeping with us. So I have to end up sleeping on my side quite a lot. That was the first thing. And having romantic time with my husband and I is even something we have to plan around our baby. Try and get a sitter. Are we going to go out with her? Are we not going to go out with her? There's so many things that you have to change in order to, live with a baby that they usually don't tell you about. They just tell you about the sleep and the feeding, but even the impact on your marriage, it takes a lot more effort to make it work when you have a child, to understand that your husband is also priority. Even though the baby is young, you have to understand all of these things. So those are the sort of changes that happen when you have a baby that I had to go through. I didn't realize how patient I could be. Oh my God, level of patience has shot through the roof. My husband will tell you, I'm one of those people, if I buy you a present, I will open the present for you. Like, I'm excited about buying you a present. Like, I'm impatient. So going through the 9 months of having to patiently wait for the baby and then having her, teaching her how to sit, how to be okay, all of these things, it taught me patience. Patience, patience, patience. You give them food, they don't want that food today. You have to patiently feed them or try and figure out what they want. Patience. That is one thing that I have learned the most, patience. Yeah. No. Half the time I don't know what I'm doing. I'm winging it and hoping to God I don't kill her, I don't poison her, I don't hurt her in some way or some form. But the beauty about motherhood is that God prepares you literally in the 9 months, the things you have to take or you don't have to take, the care that you have to take. So I realized that when I had my daughter, in as much as I didn't know what I was doing, I was reassured in the knowledge that I would never ever do something to harm her intentionally. And every mistake that I make, I learn from it. So there'll be days where maybe I'll put her down wrongly and she would topple over. Okay, so next time I won't put her down this way without cushions around it. So I don't know everything, but I'm winging it and hoping to God that He, teaches me the way to do it. But definitely, you can't know everything. You definitely can't. It's impossible. Oh boy. So because I was eating all the fufu and the abom and all the other things during my pregnancy, funny enough, I didn't put on weight when I was pregnant. I was literally just 2 kilos above my normal weight when I got pregnant, which was very weird. But after pregnancy, I put on a lot of weight. Most people say when you're breastfeeding, you don't put on weight, but that wasn't the same for me. I actually put on a lot of weight. So my stomach is not obviously as flat. I still have the dark stretch marks from when I was pregnant. Everywhere's just extra flabby. So we try to cover our arms when we can, wear the appropriate clothes to fit and seize the new body because it's flabbertastic, as I tell my husband. Yeah, so a lot of changes, flabs, sags, but we're rolling with it. You know this. What is sleep? When you have a baby, there's nothing called sleep. We are in sleep deficit mode half the time. But as I said, when you're pregnant, it's like God knows that you're going to go through this. I'm yet to meet a pregnant woman that was able to have beautiful, peaceful sleep. You're sleeping on your left side half the time. When you're finally able to even roll over with your big stomach, the baby starts to kick because they're uncomfortable. So when you have the baby, you're used to not sleeping as much. You're used to the sleep deficit that's happening. So what is sleep really? You don't have that much sleep. I'm sure everyone has heard this. They tell you when baby sleeps, sleep too. But when baby sleeps, then you remember the 1,000,001 things that you've put aside to cater to baby. Clean the house, make food, get your work ready, answer to work emails. There's so many things. Do the laundry. Most people tell you when you have a baby, you're doing laundry 1,001 times. So when the baby sleeps, you are tired, but then you realize the other responsibilities that come with being a mother, and then you have to cater to those ones as well. So when baby sleeps, I'm rarely asleep. I'm doing the other things that I should have been doing whilst baby was, with me. I thought the moment I delivered, I'd have breast milk gushing, overflowing, but they usually tell you that if you have big boobs, your milk supply is very limited. So I tried everything to make sure that I had supply the moment the baby was born, but then that's not how it works, which is what you find out when you have a baby. The milk doesn't come immediately, so I was expressing. I didn't know how to get the baby to latch properly. It was a very difficult first 3 days to try and even get some milk. And in Ghana, worldwide, they'll tell you the first milk the baby needs in the system is the breast milk, but that's not what comes quickly. So it was very difficult. The first 2-3 weeks, she couldn't latch, so I had to supplement with formula. And then expressing too was very, very, very painful. Eventually, when she managed to latch on, it was a beautiful experience. Just knowing that you're nourishing your baby, you're doing the right things to increase the milk supply, and it was a beautiful experience. As she's growing, obviously, it's becoming a bit more work to feed her because now she's turning around, moving up and down. My daughter sometimes wants to stand and feed at the same time, so she looks like a right angle triangle. I've surprised myself. Even giving birth in itself is a surprise, I think, to mothers. Knowing that you can carry a full-blown human being for 40 weeks, giving birth, and then having to take care of them is a level of resilience that if you didn't have before, I think motherhood teaches you. So I've surprised myself in my level of resilience, number one, and dedication, because every single thing that you have to do, you have to become intentional about it. I'm intentionally teaching her certain values. I'm intentionally teaching her certain things. So I've surprised myself because first I'm a very carefree, happy-go-lucky person. Oh, wherever the wind blows us, we're going to go. But having a child teaches you to be resilient, intentional. I'm back at work. Luckily, my company offers 4 months maternity leave if you had a natural birth, and then 4.5 if you had a caesarian. So I had 4.5, and then I took an extra 2 weeks. So I had 5 whole months with her. It's been difficult, even though I had all this time with her, it's still difficult trusting your child with someone else, hoping to God that nothing happens to them, that they're safe. So going to work, you want to be dedicated to work, but at the same time, you're torn in 2 places because you want to make sure that the child is safe and okay. So that's when I got a bunch of cameras so that I can watch her whilst I'm at work. So whilst I'm attending to stuff, I have my phone up and watching through the camera so that I can direct the nanny when I see something going wrong. But it's very difficult to be 100% in both places. I used to always judge moms that would use their kids' diaper bags as their handbags as well. But then having a child, I realized how cumbersome it is having to carry a child, carry their diaper bag, and at the same time try to look chic by carrying your bag as well. I found that we have to do a checklist every time we're going out. Okay, so we have to have maybe 5 changing clothes, extra diapers, extra wipes, bottles. We have to get hot water just in case we have to warm her milk. It's a whole process. So what I found was that I was going out much less because planning to go out was so much work that by the time we finished dressing up, I'm so tired. I'm like, you know what? It's okay. Let's just stay home. So now her diaper bag is our diaper bag. It's our bag. My stuff is in it, my phone, whatever things I need are in it, and her stuff. Then sometimes I even pack something for her dad just in case she vomits on him or something. So it's quite a lot of work. I've made up so many songs. Oh my God, I didn't know I had a hidden talent. I sing, I dance, I make faces. Anything to make your child better or happy. I realize mothers are ready to go above and beyond. So yeah, I do all of that. I tend to overbuy. I buy a lot. I'm an impulsive buyer. So if I go to a shop, maybe I'm just going to buy diapers or wipes. I'll end up buying clothes. I'll end up buying shoes just because the lady had it in the shop and I think it would be cute, to the detriment of my husband because he asked me to buy only one thing and I come back with 10 things. And you realize it's never enough. Shoes that would fit her for this week, they'll go through a growth spurt in the next few days and you realize, oh my God, it doesn't fit. And then you have to go and get more stuff. So you realize that you just keep buying and buying and buying, and then they're taking up more and more space in your house. So diapers, you end up buying so much, and then next week you realize, oh my God, she doesn't fit the size anymore. I have to go and buy a new size. So yeah, buying stuff, you keep buying. You never stop buying. Never ever. You keep buying all the time. Yesterday she was chewing on a shoe that I ended up going to a baby store I was going to buy baby food and I saw it and I was like, oh my God, they'll be so cute, I'm getting it. I bought it back home. My husband was like, take it back. And I was like, oh no, I think it will really, really suit her. So her feet were so tiny at the time and it would actually pop out of the shoe because it was that tiny. But I was so hell-bent on getting her to wear it just to prove my husband wrong that I'm not just buying the stuff, I'm buying it for her to wear it. So I buy it, she wears it just a few times, and just this morning, I tried to put it on. It doesn't fit. So yeah, he was right. I probably shouldn't have bought it. The mistake I made when I was baby shopping was I bought a lot of 0 to 3 months clothes because I thought, oh, they're so tiny, they'll be tiny for such a long time. But what they don't tell you is that in the 0 to 3 months, they grow so fast, become chubbier and everything. So at a point, her 0 to 3 months were looking like bodycon on her because it was just so tight. And I didn't want it to go to waste. So I found that I was forcing her to, fit into their old clothes. Even the sleep suits that they wear, I realized that her feet will be so, curled up in it because it's so tight now. But then you find that they grow out of it so fast. It's in the 6 to 9 months and then eventually they slow down and you're able to figure out what would fit. But 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, it passes by so fast. And then you realize you may have overbought, just like me, for 0 to 3 months and for 3 to 6 months. And yeah, you keep it hoping that you have a baby girl the next time so that you can have more clothes to put her in. When I had my daughter, she had gas, and I read on it, they said put her on her belly, do this, bicycle kicks, all of that. It didn't work, and she would cry. Look, for a new mother, I think the worst thing to do is hear your baby crying and you can't interpret what is happening to them, what is wrong with them. You are giving them gripe water. I used to give her some particular brand of gripe water, and she would projectile vomit every single thing she's like put in, and it was so sad to watch. So my mom came and she was like, "Ekuya, fabento anisheno." And I was like, "Mommy, no, they said it's not right, it's not good. Everywhere you read, they tell you." She was like, "I did it to you, it's going to work." And I was like, "No, oh my God, these are cake ways," you know? I wasn't ready to listen to that. But she managed to convince me, and I did it one time. And the poop, the gas, everything, like it shot out. And I was so surprised. I mean, after that, we didn't do it again. But then I realized that sometimes their ways work, and it works really well, because after she slept hours, and I couldn't even believe it. Like just one bento action and she was gone. So something like that, it was very, very surprising. I remember to clean her tongue. My baby had the oral thrush, and my mom kept saying, just put tomatoes on gauze and clean her mouth. And I was like, no, they said just water, you know. And I realized that, okay, sometimes, yes, there are newer ways of doing stuff, but the old ways also work, or the natural ways also work. So, I mean, I tried it her way, and funny enough, the thrush started clearing up. And I actually took her to a doctor as well, and he was like, yeah, as long as I don't put too much tomato juice, it works. So things like that, I found were good for me, rather than do it the other way, which is the gripe water and the belly rub and the just water and all of those things, yeah. And of course, they tell you to massage the baby, and like there's a whole process when you're trying to put the baby to sleep, like have a routine. Back in the day, they would open the baby's bum, pour water, baby's bum. Maybe that contributed to the baby having gas and all of those things. But when you read the foreign books, they don't talk about putting water on the baby's bum and on the baby's lulu to, you know, take the baby through the process of degassing. So I was doing it the foreign way as I had read, but then my mom kept insisting, no, put water, you know, let water tinkle over there so that naturally they will learn to pass gas themselves. And I realized that those things also work. So those are some of the things that were not in the foreign apps and all of those things, but they worked for me. They really, really worked for me. We got the steam sterilizer, and then we got the tablets. So I realized that when we're home, we can do the steam sterilizing, where you wash the bottles and then you put them in the steamer with a little bit of water. Within 5-10 minutes, it will be done, ready to go. But when we go out and we have to sterilize the bottle, we can't take the steamer with us. So that's when the tablets came to use. So with the sterilizing tablets, as long as you have water, you just put it in. Within 15 minutes with the bottles, it's done, sterilized and good to go. The most challenging parts have been teaching her the values that I want to be instilled in her, teaching her right from wrong, knowing the right things to do and the wrong things to do. And I am a believer that they're never too young to learn. So as we're going through the process, like even when we go for play dates and she takes someone else's toy, even though she doesn't understand me now, I say, no, don't do that, that's not nice, you know, and I take that toy back from her and I give it to the other person. Slowly, I believe that it's teaching her sharing, not taking from people without asking. So the most challenging part is teaching them the values that you want to be instilled in them, teaching them right from wrong, and hoping to God that you're doing the right thing. Yeah, that's the most challenging part. I think I can sum it up in one scenario. When you go to work and you come back, and when you walk through the door and your baby turns and she looks at you and she recognizes that, oh my God, it's you, it's mommy. And she starts to smile and she's crawling towards you. I think nothing can replace the joy and fulfillment that you have when your child is literally yearning for you. They're excited to see you. It's an amazing feeling to have. So every time I come back from work, I wait a little at the door. Apparently at 5 o'clock, she comes to like the hallway, waiting to see if the door is going to open up. And then the moment I open, I stand and I look at her. And then I ask her, who's this? Is it mommy? And then she bursts out smiling, and it's so fulfilling. It's the happiest feeling to ever have. Like, it's really amazing. Very, very amazing. Yeah.